Hello from Kirksville, Missouri. Good afternoon. This is Randy Carvin, and this is Randy's Rant for October 29th, 2019. Uh, while I'm waiting around for folks, I got to beat the crap out of him. He gets worse every day. All right. I don't know how much of this I'm going to cover. First off, I want to mention my group. Folks, I didn't start this thing to be a referee. Please try to get along with each other. That's all I ask. Facebook will let me know when something is fake. They let me know, and by either taking it down or they notify me. At which case, I have to let the person know that I'm going to have to delete their post. Please try to get along. Keep in mind, we have got damn Russians and the GOP out there trying to take us all down. You could at least get along. If you don't like somebody's post, pass on by it, please. All right. I want to thank Donnie for something. I want to thank him for going to the World Series Game 5, which Fox covered up by editing the boos out. They only had the cheering, and then they edited out the boos and the chant, "Lock him up." They went on to pretend like they were covering the game. All right. Hello, Bernadette. Hello, buddy. All right. Thank you, buddy. I just had to get that out of the way because I am not going to spend all my time on my group. I have other things I'm doing, like posting either music or what's relevant to the day. So I don't have time for all these little arguments. If you don't like something, pass it on by. If you don't pass it on by, maybe my group is not the one for you. All right, let's go on with some more stuff. And Fox News, the latest this morning from them, they're playing the vote is Pelosi knows it's unfair and not to have the vote accordingly. Nowhere in the rules, and it was backed up by a federal judge, I think it was Friday or Saturday, that they don't have to hold a vote. After all, we are going by rules. When they tried to go after and impeach Eric Holder in 2015, they changed the rules. Now the rules are not right because it's not set like it was for Clinton or for Nixon. Sorry. We don't bend over and kiss our ass for you. Your double standard doesn't work in the House when you're not in the majority. Ah, damn. And I found out over the weekend, it was over the weekend, that Bennett College or university that Trump was at to get the Justice Award, students were told to remain in the dorms. See, Donnie sets up his audience wherever he goes. You will never see him at either a football game or a baseball game in the future because he can't control the crowd. And that is really what I call a whiny little bitch. Trump is used to picking his own audience. I jumped ahead of myself by a sentence. All right. Lies, lies, and lies. Donnie, more and more over time. They had a meme out there that I looked up. There were no crying farmers in the Oval Office. He claimed that they were crying until he did his executive order. Oh, damn liar. And he lied about his book. That book was written for him. He didn't write it, number one. Number two, he did mention bin Laden, but not like he's claiming now. No, he did not predict you had to go kill this man. He didn't say anything about that. And yesterday, I mean, yeah, that would have been the other day when he was in Chicago. He was a total embarrassment. He started picking on the police superintendent. I'm glad he hit back some. And he even said if he had any good suggestions, they're still willing to work with him after he totally trashed Chicago despite less gun violence and a smaller crime rate. He doesn't count that shit. Oh, and some of this stuff, I want to go down through and kind of proofread it. I want to get my point across. And right now, I'm trying to figure out the first paragraph. Well, oh, yes, 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 indeed. Some of Donnie's picks for things. Mendez sells certificates for a price. Yes, you can be a political expert and a global leader. You just pay him $325 and he'll give you the certificate to make it so. Another Trump pick. Peter Navarro doesn't know Chinese, makes up imaginary friend Ron Vera, which is an anagram of his last name. Ron is the expert on China. You can't make this shit up. I swear. Trump's tale of two realities. This is from Cuomo. Line blurred between best and worst of times. When Obama administration found and killed bin Laden, Trump said it was the military, not Obama. Now he acts like he took out al Baghdadi himself, making up details that didn't happen. We heard from the military. There was no crying and whimpering, in other words. He made it up. He pulled it right out of his ass. And let's see. As I reported last night upon leaving, we had snowfall last night. We got about half an inch. No problems with the roads, even though last night, because it was all wet, it looked like it was starting to get slick. But we had a north wind at 11 miles an hour, and it even dried the sidewalks and the pavement. So there was no problems this morning getting around. And today's witness is Army officer Lieutenant Colonel Alexander Vindman, which Fox was busy last night saying that he uh, did espionage. He's a spy, or they couldn't. See, Fox is pulling out all the stops now because they can't defend him either. It's getting bad for them. It's getting bad for the GOP. They have got no defense for this asshole and what he keeps doing wrong. He said in his opening statement that he is a patriot. And this was out of a sense of duty that that he was appearing there and speaking out. Like I said, they will do this more and more now. They're going to speak out. They're going to be coming from everywhere. And Donnie wanted to make a big deal. Oh, where's the whistleblower? They don't even need the whistleblower. They can't just bring the whistleblower in because, for one thing, they'd be on cell phones or whatever and telling Donnie who it is. They can't even bring him into the Capitol in fear that somebody will figure out who this person is. This government's in sorry shape. I have, in my lifetime, I have never seen anything as bad as this. Trump talked about the dog, which was not a good idea. He doesn't get it. You don't just blurt out certain details he gave, like, for instance, they had an idea now with sensitive material, what they're going to do in the future and all that. Well, you blew that there, President, because now they can't use that information since ISIS will know it too. Dumbass. He can't control himself. He cannot keep his damn mouth shut. Let's see. All right. Wow. I'm ahead of myself again. And I was glad that the police chief or police superintendent called a press conference to kind of straighten out Donnie's lies. And our military has said the raid and killing of Al Baghdadi happened in spite of Donnie and not because of Donnie. He delayed the mission by about a month with his bullshit with Turkey, greenlighting them. And what's the first thing he did after the raid was over? He thanks Russia. Russia has since denied they knew anything about it. Get your story straight, Donnie. You can't depend on Putin. Putin's not going to defend you. He's making a fool out of you. And the last story on the last word last night was about the booing and chanting, lock him up, to which I will add, I already told you, on Fox and Fiends, they edited the clip and left out the booing and chanting and started covering the actual game. And a friend of mine, a Facebook friend, I believe at one time he went to same high school as I did, claimed that it wasn't right, that it didn't happen. That shows you right there. Number one, he wasn't watching the game. Number two, he only watches Fox Spews for his news source. So that's why it didn't happen. And that's something else. Here we are in the United States, and now we have state TV. It's ridiculous. And where I got my story for Laura Ingraham playing that the lieutenant colonel is a partisan, Soviet born, and can't be believed. And the other guy said that he's probably a spy or involved in espionage. Grew up in the United States, served, and got a Purple Heart. No, you can't believe that kind of people. Look at Donnie. He partied during the Vietnam War. Let's see if I got anything else for you today. Didn't want to keep people a long time. Oh, I do want to get this in. Buddy and I had a talk. This is These Days by Buddy Davis. And it is $15 for the CD and $5 shipping and handling. So here's the address. Get out there and get it. Grace and I thoroughly enjoy Buddy's CD. And let's see. I'm going to kind of look over. And thank you, Jerry, for jumping in on that and pointing out the disagreement that was out there over a post. It was also covered by CNN. It was covered by USA Today. And that's why my policy is going to be for right now is if Facebook notifies me, I will take down a post, but I am not going to lose people because some people want to classify something as fake news, but they're not even willing to fact check the situation. And if they're not willing to do that, I don't care what you are, you don't know everything. And like I said, maybe our group for the Blue Dots primarily is not for you. And that's another thing I'll touch on before I leave you today. I wanted to express to you, keep calling Congress. Keep calling them. Keep the pressure on because they are grasping at straws now, trying to say how this is unfair. And even if they take the vote, that's still going to be unfair. No, it won't. It's exactly what dumbass was saying to do. Nancy does not have to do that, but she's going to do it. Now I kind of lost my train of thought there. And I basically covered it. Oh, I will add one thing. Buddy told me too. Rick Haynes, the bass player, has been with Gordon Lightfoot for 50 years. So that's quite a bass player that's on this CD. Like I said, Grace and I thoroughly enjoy every song on that CD. So I will leave you with that. Give Donnie a wear out here. It's House of Cards. It's collapsing. Eventually, the Republicans are going to have to give up on him. But it makes you wonder. It's like waking up in the Twilight Zone every day. Uh, but that's like what I say: resist, persist, and insist. And I do insist for all of us, Blue Dots and others, that we keep calling, keep the pressure on. Pressure works. The only other thing we can do is hit the street. So let me look at the column again. Let's see. Hello, Lisa. I'll kind of call out to some more people. Hello, Brian. And thank you again, Jerry. Hey, Bernadette. Yeah, Pootie can depend on Bernadette, on Donnie, because Donnie is a useful idiot for him. I don't know what they have on him. May be very similar. He's had a promise that he can put up Trump property in Moscow. All it takes with Donnie is money. Let's see. Hit him one more time. All right, here we go. There we go, Bernadette. Yeah, the PP take too, Brian. All right, now uh, I'm going to be. We should be able to have a live meeting on YouTube tonight. I know John had a problem with them yesterday, but like he was saying, it might, they had to go to whatever time it was when that CNN story or whatever caused the whole problem. Uh, yeah, that was what it was. It was showing CNN. They got upset about their copyright. So by today, in tonight's meeting, that should be over with and it should be viewable on Facebook Live. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm going to try to catch the World Series. I'm pulling for the Nats. Uh, I might have felt different if it hadn't have been for the only time I pull for an American League team would be the Royals. So they ain't there. I ain't pulling for them. Sorry about that, folks. That's your team. Either one of them, the Astros too. Um, I'm just National League. My Braves didn't make it, but at least the Nationals did. Doesn't look like they're doing well, but all right. I certainly agree. Blue Dots, peace, and love the Blue Dots. That's for sure. All right, folks. I'll let you go, and I will see you again tomorrow on Facebook. Um, and we'll see how things are going. It seems like things are getting a little better. We're still a day away from the vote tomorrow, but there's going to a lot of shit's going to hit the fan before we even get to Thursday, and I will be here to report it to you. All right, peace. Resist, persist, and insist that we get the fascists out of our White House, out of our government. I know we're not going to eliminate it completely, but at least without one right in the White House, so with his little Nazi right next to him, maybe things can go back to normal. And I know this country hadn't been perfect, but we were on the way to making things a lot better. And I want to get back to that. I love you, Blue Dots. I love America. And we can get this done. We're going to have to fight in the trenches until we get it done. All right. Have a good evening. Share this shit. Get it out there. Bye bye for now.